to the table?
You know, he's very long. He's a complicated wrestler and a very good jiu-jitsu. But I am the best complete fighter on the board and ready for everything.
And we're going to get some more fights out of you, right? You're not done yet.
Not done yet. Aaron Pico, you are the next.
Ladies and gentlemen, your featherweight Bellator champion.
As Wild gets to the stool. Whoa! The right hand just missed for Souza, and then the left hook. He got Wild to circle back into it a little bit. Nasty, nasty impact here from Manuel Souza. Spins the head around, face plants Wild, and he knew as soon as it landed. Were just academic. That elbow was all she wrote.
Yeah, Kelly's coming off a huge, win and headline in his career. He may not be calling for a title shot yet. So that was beautiful.
Dynamic duo here with a review of Bellator Champions Series, which took place in Belfast, Ireland, and it was on March 22nd, which was a Friday. Now, this is the first time Bellator has been on their own since they were purchased by PFL. Also, making history. This was on HBO Max's streaming. First time this streaming was having any combat sports, but overall, HBO has never had MMA before. So this was very interesting. Now, we're going to start off with the very first fight, which is Nate Kelly versus Jordan Elliott. This was an amateur bout.
Why are you doing this? Come on.
I understand you wanted a local kid. Nate Kelly's from Ireland, but there was plenty low level of professional fighters you could have taken for that. He barely had any experience amateur-wise. This wasn't even really worth it.
Honestly, it was a joke. It was a joke.
But at least Nate Kelly finished Jordan Elliott.
Armbar, so I mean...
There was that. It was pretty quick, but still, honestly, I think it was a waste of time. Now let's move on to the first professional fight, which was two heavyweights. Abraham Babley versus Isaiah Pinson.
Yeah, and Babley just came for a wrestling match. He didn't come to fight. It was just strictly a wrestling match.
Honestly, if you want some good sleep, I highly recommend watching that fight. I know I got some good sleep. Let's move on. Okay, let's talk about a fight worth talking about. Local Irish fighter Nathan Kelly, who was actually from PFL, versus Vikas Singh Ruhil. Now, this was a fight worth watching, definitely. Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know, PFL does not allow elbow strikes. Bellator does.
Which, let's just say, Nathan definitely used one. Literally.
Vikas did come to fight, but honestly, it was just outclassed. This was all Nathan, plus having the local crowd on you does make a difference. Moving on to the light heavyweight, which was Luke Traynor versus Grant Neal.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! This is a horror show right here.
Luke is dirty. Twice. He was sticking his fingers up Grant Neal's butt. Second time the ref actually had to tell him, watch where your fingers are going. Look, personally, I respect Luke. He, on his off time, works with foster children. I give him a lot of respect for that. Professionally, no, not what he did to Grant Neal. Boring fight. Luke played to the crowd. Honestly, he could have finished him. I don't know why he didn't.
It was weird. Like I said, it was weird. Extremely weird, honestly. I felt like this, like they weren't fighting, they weren't sparring. This is something more sexual, honestly. It was weird.
It was weird, honestly. You don't do that to another.
Come there to fight.
Seriously. Let's move on. Okay, lightweight division, Alfie Davis versus Oscar Onsworth.
Boring.
It was. It was well-rounded, but it was a sparring match.
A light sparring match. Way too technical. Yeah, at the end they were both bleeding, but there was no real threat there.
Yeah, honestly, even with submission touch, it's like, basically, let me just hold and try to appear to do something. If you missed that fight or you want some good sleep, there you go. Now, let's talk about the bantamweight division with a local fighter, Ciaran Clark versus Darius Mafi. Okay, Mafi's from Iran. Clark, Ireland. Clark came to fight. It was a mismatch, though. Total mismatch, but Clark came to fight. Excellent submission. That's what I like to see. If you're on the ground, go for submissions. Take a chance. So I recommend that one. Okay, moving on to the main event, which is lightweights, Tim Wilde versus Manola Sosa. Now, the thing about Tim Wilde is he's actually a training partner of UFC champion Leon Edwards and also Bellator contender Fabian Edwards. Now, in this fight, definitely worth watching.
Oh yeah, Sosa came out swinging. I mean, throwing haymakers. Every shot was a bomb, and well, let's say it definitely pounded out for him.
Only take one. But Wilde was dominating until then.
Yeah, he was moving around, throwing quite a bit of shots, picking them apart. He was picking Sosa apart, but Sosa had nasty. He just landed a nasty left on Tim, and that was it. Lights out.
Seriously, one of the nastiest knockouts we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one, the featherweight division. Local Irish fighter, James Gallagher, who, again, another veteran MMA, versus Lidro Higo from Brazil.
Joke. Honestly, a joke of a fight.
It just wasn't there.
He wanted to play around so much. I mean, come on, he's pointing at his opponent. I mean, come on, what's he doing?
I don't know.
It's just a joke, honestly. It's a joke.
They're definitely not worth watching. Higo wins. It's move on to something worth talking about, which isn't this fight. The middleweight bout with Fabian Edwards versus Aaron Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's a wrestling match. Strict wrestling match.
Aaron was scared of Fabian. Fabian wanted to fight, but Aaron didn't. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm tired of guys trying to secure their spots. This is for the #1 contender, so they could challenge Johnny Evelyn for the middleweight title. Fabian wins for his rematch, but
I mean, enough with wrestling matches. Fight. You're not there to wrestle. You gotta fight.
it was just pressing against the cage. Not even at least good takedowns and serious submission
or
attempts.
slams.
I like seeing that kind of grappling. But all right, what happened? Happened.
Moving on.
Yeah, seriously, not worth talking about. Now, here's a great fight. Featherweight Kingpin, Patricio Pitbull. Oh my God. Versus Jeremy Kennedy. Seriously, Pitbull is honestly one of the greatest fighters.
I thought he was out. I thought, honestly, he was going to lose this fight. He's a lot older. I thought, hey, you know what? Because in the fight, he got clocked. And he almost got dropped. I was like, oh my God. It's over. It's over for him. Next thing you know, boom, come back. And he keeps hitting him, hitting. And
He attacked him like a pit bull.
Kennedy went down, and it wasn't even funny.
Oh, if you're going to only watch one fight, that's the one to watch.
Definitely.
All right, now,
Moving on.
light heavyweights. Corey Anderson versus Carl Moore. Carl Moore is a local Irish fighter. Now, this is for the light heavyweight championship for Bellator. Boring. Honestly,
Corey Anderson, another one, just, wrestle. That's it.
he played it way too safe. He was just determined to get the belt. I understand, he wants to be a champion.
But go there and actually fight.
Honestly,
Become a champ by winning, by actually fighting, not by wrestling.
it's just a lot of pressing against the cage. Carl did have a good chance of an armbar at one point, but unfortunately it was too late in the round. Honestly, I got some respect for Carl Moore, but it wasn't worth watching.
Yeah, it can be better.
Now, overall, for the whole entire card,
Definitely good.
yeah, it's definitely worth checking
Just
out.
there's some fights that are just extremely boring. And now remember to like and subscribe. Catch you later.